This game was not my favorite. It could have been, but alas. Hello, YouTube. This is round 4, the Denver Open. This was not my proudest moment. So this was the day after the legendary Rook and Pawn endgame. But the 2 other games I played on Saturday, I tried to sack an exchange in both games, and my opponent did not accept either time. I just thought that context was very important for this game. Moving on. Alright, so this is another master I'm playing. Some of my favorite games I've ever played have been against him. I actually want to link those games in the description because both games were like top like 8 favorite games I've ever played. So I was very excited to play him, obviously, because we just have really interesting games. One of the games was I even lost, and it's still one of my favorites. This is all normal. He takes on c4, bishop g2, and he goes a6, castles, and knight c6. So knight c6 is less common, and I was unfamiliar with the ideas. Unlucky for me. I'm pretty sure... Oh, it's not. See, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Knight c6 is the main move here. Maybe I was thinking, like... Maybe this is the line I was thinking of? This. Okay, so I just, like, thought that I was playing a position I wasn't. So with castles included, knight c6 not common. But here it's the main move. I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, why isn't he developing and castling? I don't know. E3 apparently is what you should play here. I had no idea. I just went knight c3. And I remember feeling a little defeated with knight c3 because typically when they take on c4, you want to put your knight on d2. You know, obviously. And sometimes you can get move ordered if you play knight c3 too early, then they take on c4, and then your knight is misplaced. But if I play knight d2 here, I hang the d-pawn. But also, e3 was not on my radar because I feel like I never play that move. Like, where do I go with bishop after that? I wasn't sure. So I didn't really feel like I had a good option. And besides e3, like, apparently I can even do this and just sack this this pawn. But I didn't want to do that. Well, the c pawn is not free because he already took one of my pawns to get it. So knight c3 is okay, but psychologically difficult to play because I was just super confused. I hadn't seen this position before, and I'm just like on my own with a chess master who probably knows theory. So rook b8, and then I had flashbacks to a game in Vegas where some rook b8 was played against me, and I didn't get it, you know, like I didn't play very well. Rook b8 is annoying to face as a Catalan boy, because where pressure go? Like, the problem is it's difficult to develop the queenside pieces a lot of the time and hang on to the pawn. So you usually have to like choose. But here, what am I supposed to do? Because like b5 next, and then what? Like, I can't ever play a4 after b5 because then b4 and he's just like storming me. And I was just really not sure. But again, I was spending 3 to 7 minutes per move. What I should do is play either e4 or b3. b3, like, kind of a sad move, I think. But you're getting some sort of pressure, maybe, like maybe this way. I also feel like every time I end up playing e4 in these structures, I'm wrong. And every time I don't play e4, I'm also wrong. But that's just part of my system. I ended up playing a4 because, like, it doesn't really help against b5, I guess. Or no, it sort of does, because I can, yeah, okay. This was my little idea of the day, so this was my idea, I assume. Queen a4 here. And rook b6 not helping because of knight e5. So I tactically defended against the semi-threat of b5. So a4 makes sense. However, he should play knight a5 here to really take advantage of the weakening of the b3 square, which makes a lot of sense. Not a move not an idea I was aware of, or my opponent. I think he was, because I think he played it the next move. But bishop b4, and now I'm having flashbacks. If anyone remembers, I did a little teensy commentary when Alexandra Botez was playing in Reykjavik. It wasn't like verified commentary, I just did it on my channel. But she kept missing the idea of stepping out of, I think it was round 1, like she should have played knight a2 like 5 moves in a row. Just to kick the bishop back and like reroute the knight, because the knight's not so good on c3. It's like, what is it doing? So I was like, all right, well, I'll be, you know, I won't do that. I'll play knight a2 here. That was why I played knight a2. That was the only thought behind it. After bishop e7, though, what's happened is I've put my knight on a2, and he's developed a piece to e7 for free. So not great. Queen c2, knight a5. Is there a positional reason not to play e4 and take the center? It blocks the Catalan bishop. But also, if you're too hasty with like pushing this all the way, sometimes they just put a knight on d5 and they're better. And if I'm not doing something with the center pawns, then yeah, it is just, I feel like, I mean, clearly I don't understand. But I don't know, like, it's hard, man. Chess is hard. So now he's taking advantage of this this b3 weakness. I play bishop f4 because I want to put pressure on the c7 pawn. I want to connect my rooks. I want to make sure that I'm able to put my rooks in the center if needed. Alas, indeed. Castles. And then we go for a bit of a Sarah move here. So b4 is actually, I think, a pretty interesting idea. The computer's not so fond of it, but, you know, this is the type of play I'm hoping for when I play the Catalan. I want piece activity. I don't want to care about material. I just want I want the center. I want strong bishop pair. I want activity, and I want pressure. I don't want to, that's my system. So the point of b4 is that I want him to take on b3. Queen takes c7, and if queen takes, this is a fork here. So, but the problem with that is yes, like I think bishop d7. I saw from like after I'd already committed to this, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I don't really know what to do with this now. And I can go ahead and take on b8, but he's not gonna take my knight, and now he has 2 bishops and a passed pawn, and all I have is a stupid exchange. I'm the one who wants to sack an exchange for 2 bishops and a pawn. That's my system. He's stealing my system. But thankfully he believed me, probably maybe even because of the games I've played against him in the past where my sacrifices have been completely sound. Like I've played 2 games with him, and I've sacked a total of 4 pieces in like sound ways. So that kind of really works out in my favor, because now he just sort of believes me. So he played knight b3, and my idea here was to take on c4 and sack the exchange. Just like in the other 2 games where I wanted to sack an exchange, and the only reason I didn't was because they wouldn't take it. Or no, I can't take back right away. I'd take on c7. But still. But I was so demoralized because I just wasn't playing well. I wasn't trusting my instincts. It's just sort of strange, though, that I would trust b4 and then not follow it up with queen takes c4. Like, that was my idea. But I don't know. I convinced myself that it's better to just play, like, put a rook in the center and play a normal move. But I should have gone for this. And it just looking at it, it looks good. Just intuitively. I think I was a little turned off of queen d5. And then I was like, I have to calculate this. Like, this is difficult to calculate. I think the line goes like takes, and then knight c2. And I have some weaknesses. I don't know who this position is harder to play for, but if everything just kind of fizzles out into an equal position, that's also not what I want, I guess, but I think that that's silly reason not to. I don't remember. I think I just briefly saw queen d5 and I'm not calculating, and I was like, that's too hard. I'm not going to do it. And I decided to be practical and play rook d1. But now he just goes b5 and my position sucks. So, like, if my position was gonna suck, like, I might as well do the way that is more fun and leads to more chances. And by the way, my position would not suck if I take on c4. But now I'm just, like, psychologically just, like, completely fucked. Because, I don't know. It's just odd that I try to sack an exchange 3 times, and the one time my opponent lets me do it, I chicken out. It's infuriating. You think you're over your psychological weaknesses, and then they come back and they get you. I don't know. But anyway, now my knight on e2 is garbage. His knight on b3 is a god. My bishops are superficial. Like, I mean, there's nothing along this diagonal because he moved it, you know, and he got all his pawns out of the way. Basically, if they're able to take on c4 and hang on to it, like, they're doing fine. Okay, but bishop b7. And I remember being sad here. I remember kind of checking out mentally. Because I have nothing left to give at this point. You know, I tried my b4, like, that was my shot, and I was a little bitch and I didn't follow through, and now I hate myself. So could give him some cough drops. Yeah. I really have a lot less to say about the game from here because it was dumb. I think I played bishop takes b5 and I tried to. This is clearly me regretting not sacking material and now trying to cope hard by sacking it here, but it's like, it's so much better to just sack the material for, you know, real compensation on your own terms than to first get a bad position, and then because your position is so bad, you have to sack material to, like, breathe. And it's so sad because it could have been another really cool game, and I fucked it up. So that you can see why I've just really put the next game is even worse. It's like the worst game I've ever played. So I don't know, like, this was all stupid. And then I, like, resigned a few moves later. Yeah, he put the squeeze on. And yeah, I mean, I guess I played on for, like, a shockingly long time. Shows my mental state. But he didn't do anything wrong after that. Like, he just beat me. So yeah, that was not my finest hour. That shit haunts me. Not taking on c4 haunts me. Like, that's clearly and I think part of me is afraid that people won't believe me. Like, that I didn't even see queen takes c4. But why would I play b4? The first, okay, right after looking at en passant, the second thing you look at is knight b3, And the most obvious follow-up is queen takes e4. So I obviously looked at it, and then I just talked myself out of it. So anyway, I don't like this game. It was bad. So hopefully you learned something from it. I don't know.